Hello! Today I'm going to make a recipe from Cracker Barrel chicken and dumplings. It's a knockoff of Cracker Barrel. And the first thing you need to do is cook your chicken, and I'll show you that after a while. And it has to cook 2 hours with some different vegetables and spices. And now while it's cooking, I'm going to make the dumplings. If you've never made chicken and dumplings, it's literally flour, baking powder, salt, and milk. So I've got the flour measured 2 cups. I'm going to put it in the bowl. And you're supposed to put a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon and a fourth of salt. And that's it. You just have to mix in the milk. The trick is getting the milk in properly. I make this all the time, and half the time it doesn't turn out right. So it's better to be a little runny, a little mushy, than too dry. If they're too dry, you can't roll them out. So the trick is getting the proper amount of milk ratio flour. I mix it in the bowl till I think it's just about ready. And then I put it on a floured board to finish. Tony, can you get me the pizza cutter? I forgot it. So I've just sort of put some extra powder on top there, and I'm just gonna, it's a little sticky, but I'd rather be a little sticky than too dry. And if you have these dumplings too deep, too thick, it takes longer for them to cook. So I try to get them just not paper thin and not 1/4 of an inch, but in between there, maybe like around 1/8 of an inch. It's still a little sticky on the sides here, so I'm gonna, now I've got my pizza cutter. I'm just gonna cut the dumplings. And my cat and dog are both here helping out. That's so sweet of them to come to the party. Now after I get my chicken down, I'll let it cool and break up the pieces. And then I'll remove all that stuff out of the juice and just add the dumplings. So I'll show you that after I get done with this. Thank you. You boil the chicken, the celery, the onion, the spices for 2 hours. Then you let the chicken cool and make it into chunks. And you don't add it right away. First, I scoot the chicken out of the pan. It has to cool before I can make it into little chunks. I want my broth to make my dumplings, so I'm going to strain them. Take all the celery and onions out of there. And that broth is going to go back in the pan. I started out with 3 quarts of water, and it is cooked down to less than that, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more broth. And then I'll get back with you on the chicken. Okay, you want to break up your chicken in little chunks like this. You don't want shredded. And you don't add it right away to the liquid. You wait till the dumplings are almost done, and you add your chicken last. Otherwise, the chicken falls all apart and it's sort of a shredded soup instead of chicken and dumplings. After it's cooled, it's really easy and quick to do. But you want nice chunks, but not too thick, something you can bite. And as soon as the broth starts boiling, we'll be ready to put the dumplings in. In the broth, I already put the lemon juice, salt, and pepper, so it's ready to go. And I did measure it, and I was short, so you have to have 6 cups of liquid in the pan before you start the dumplings. So I had to add a little bit of chicken broth to my pan. Okay, you have to wait for that broth to boil. It has to be a nice, rapid boil. And then you can start adding your dumplings. Whenever you first put dumplings in, they sort of swell and get really fat. And then after they cook 20 minutes, they're done, they shrink back to small. You don't put them in all at once, you just do a few at a time so they don't get stuck together. And after these cook 20 minutes, we add our chicken, cook 5 more minutes, and then we are ready to eat chicken and dumplings. I usually do a nice side of green beans or peas or something green. And then you can pretend that you went to Cracker Barrel tonight, since we're all snowed in. Periodically, you might want to give it a little stir. And then you keep adding the dumplings until they're all in there. The flour sort of thickens it a little bit, but I still sometimes add a little cornstarch mixed with water, or a little extra flour with water to make it thicker. I don't like my dumplings used to be too thin. And I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay, the dumplings are almost done. We just have to add the chicken, or chunks of chicken. Give it a nice stir. And in 5 minutes, our dumplings will be ready. Wish I could let you smell it, give you a bite. Terrific meal for a cold winter's night. Thanks for coming.